Do y'all remember whoever smelt it? That is funny that we were so committed to that idea that we would send it out to potential guests to be like, hey,
Yeah.
make sure you have a story about an embarrassing time that you ripped. Welcome, everyone, to Trevor Talks Too Much, the show where I talk and I cry and I laugh and I fly high on the wings of love. Shout out to you, Jeffrey Osborne. I'm your host, Trevor Everett's Master Baker, Mythical Soft Boy, presidential candidate in 2024 for the People's Exemplary Nation Independent Socialist Party, aka the Penis Party. Get out there and vote in 2024 for me. I will make the nation cool. The Penis Party, vote 2024. Today, it's gonna be an episode today. It's gonna be a little bit bittersweet. We're gonna do a little reminiscing, a little looking back, because this will be the final episode of Trevor Talks Too Much. The final one. Jamie, let out your tears now.
I'm very sad. I'm going to be crying by the end of this, I'm telling you.
You're so sad that you never have to see me again. Oh my God. How sad are you?
I am. I'm telling you. I'm like, I'm literally going to come bug you so much. You're going to be like, I thought I got rid of her.
No, Jamie and I are still going to hang out and be friends. But yeah, this is the last episode. There's, I don't know how to do this. This is hard. This is hard for me to talk about. This is hard. I don't really know what to say. I kind of like have a bunch of thoughts up in my head. So I'm just going to kind of word vomit until I feel like I've said it all enough. But yeah, I know that I've talked a lot on the show about, I don't need this actually, till later maybe.
You just chuck it.
Yeah, just throw it. Yeah, I mean, this show it's meant a lot to me. It's been really amazing to do. It's been an experience that, I haven't had before. It's been really fun. I've made a lot of really cool friends from it. And I've learned a lot, but as you know, I've talked a little bit about my mental health on the show before. And it's been a tough last few months. I've been going through a lot. I'm making steps in the right direction, I believe. But it's been hard, and this is one of those things that I just felt like I needed to take a break from, an indefinite break. And yeah, I needed to just have a little bit more time in the day to, focus on myself. I'm still going to be around, just so we're clear. This isn't me quitting or anything. I'm going to be around on Mythical Kitchen. I'm going to be around on GMM and stuff like that. But yeah, this is one of those things that, like, while I really love doing it, it was an extra thing on my plate. And I just felt like I wanted to have a little break. So that is the most of the reason why. But really this show has been a lot of fun, and it really has been one of my favorite things to do. Not just because, I've been able to hang out with Jamie all the time, who I love and appreciate so much. I know that Jamie and I butt heads a lot, but genuinely Jamie is one of the sweetest people that I've ever met. And she's still going to be working here. She's actually taken over Ear Biscuits, so she's getting a huge upgrade from me.
No, it's not gonna. It's gonna be different.
Yeah, it's gonna be different, but it'll be good.
Yeah, it'll be good. But.
Yeah, she's gonna get to hang out with Rhett and Link and become Rhett and Link's best friend instead of my best friend. So that's cool.
No, I'm gonna come by your office. I'm gonna be like, so today, me, Rhett, and Link, we talked.
Yeah, she's like, you won't believe the time that Rhett, Link, and I just had. Oh my God, it was so fun.
No.
So Jamie's gonna be around. She's not gone. But yeah, I mean, when I first started doing this show and Rhett and Link first, asked me to do it, it was something that I had no clue how it was gonna go. I didn't know what to expect. I'd never hosted a podcast before. I don't have a co-host. I have Jamie, who's amazing, but, she's not a co-host. I was, just going to be
Mhm.
bringing on a new person every week. And so I learned a ton just about what it means to, like, be entertaining and carry a show. And, it's been a really amazing experience. But again, I didn't have, a lot of expectations. I didn't go in thinking that it was going to be the greatest podcast of all time, even though it is the greatest podcast of all time. Um, and I honestly didn't know what to expect. Very early on, I did my best to not look at any numbers because I
Mhm.
knew that numbers would just like stress me out and make me feel bad. And, I've learned that in all things that you attach a number to, there's always going to be a bigger number.
Yeah, numbers,
um,
that's the thing, they keep going.
yeah, they keep on going all the way to like infinity, I think,
And beyond.
and beyond. Buzz Lightyear,
Ayo.
but yeah, I mean, there's 8 billion people in the world. So until I think we just passed that recently. We just passed 8 billion
Yeah,
on planet Earth.
there's too many.
Too many people. That so realistically, until I had, 8 billion listeners, there was never a point when like there wouldn't be another number to reach or another milestone to hit. So, early on, I really just was like, I'm not going to focus on the numbers. I just want to focus on doing something that I'm proud of, that Jamie's proud of, and that, I don't know, can like help one person. I, um, I know for me growing up and, not even just growing up to this day, I have those people, those content creators, those YouTubers, those streamers that like when I'm in a bad place or I'm feeling down, they're the people that, I watch and it's a distraction. And it's, this temporary kind of getaway from the things that I'm feeling or the things that I don't want to think about in that moment. And I've had those people forever, ever since I first started, watching YouTube. And I guess for me, throughout the whole show, I kind of was just hoping that I could be that, for like at least one person. That I could be someone that this show could be something that, someone out there who is going through something, whatever it may be, that, I could help them, that I could be that person for someone, that someone's day could just be a little bit better because of something that I said or did, or this stupid, silly little show where I get on here and I make terrible jokes for 45 minutes straight and Jamie has to sit and listen through all of them.
I liked it. I enjoy it's like the
Um,
best part of coming to the office for me because I don't technically have to be here unless I'm recording,
yeah,
and that made me excited. I'm like, this is why I do what I do.
yeah,
I love seeing someone who's passionate like you, who and trust me, Trevor, I've worked with a bunch of different hosts, and a lot of them just never get there. They never get it, and you just got it. It clicked with you, like, right away, and just to see you adapt and grow throughout the show and the process, I've
yeah.
been nothing but proud of you throughout this entire process,
Thank you.
and I
That
mean
means a
that.
lot coming from you because you're a professional and I'm not. But you're right. I'm the greatest there ever was. Uh, but no, seriously. I mean, I know when we first kind of did an episode where I was by myself and I talked about my mental health, and it is something that, to be clear, I'm still struggling with to this day. I've already mentioned that. But I talked about it for like a little bit, and I didn't even go that in depth or anything. But I got so many messages from people, and I read every single one. And there were a lot of people out there that said that they felt the same things or they experienced some of the same things, and that it comforted them to know that someone else that they watch or listen to is going through that stuff too. And that meant the world to me. Because I don't know, I've gone through a lot mental health wise, and throughout the whole process, I have kind of, realized that you never know what someone's going through and you never know what's happening behind the scenes in someone's life, no matter how much they might be smiling or seem happy or, you never know what's going on. And so I've always just wanted to be someone that, can make people smile, make people laugh, just be a positive influence a positive person, because there's way too many like terribly mean people that all they
Oh, yeah.
do is just spread dissent and hatred, and I hate that. And so that's what the show was to me. It was my chance to bring some silly energy to the world through the form of podcast and YouTube videos where I sit in this chair and I have this microphone in front of me and I just talk about whatever. And yeah, and ever since the beginning, I thought if I could just do that for one person, then to me, the show is a success. If I could just be that to one person, even if it's just for one day, if I could make someone's life just a hair better or make someone feel a little less bad for 45 minutes to an hour, then I'd be happy. Because I know that there have been so many times in my life that I've needed that. And I just feel really blessed that I've been able to do that over the last year. So I thought I'd be able to get through it.
No, you're gonna make me cry, Peter.
I thought I'd be able to get through it. From the bottom of my heart to everyone that has listened to the show, thank you.
Oh, Trevor, this is like now we can't even do the rest of the show.
I'm strong.
This has been such a fun show to be on, like a chaotic good. You know what I mean? Not a chaotic evil.
I like the Dungeons and Dragons reference. Thank you.
Yeah, it really has been. And as I've worked on very different shows, I've worked with very different people. And from the bottom of my heart, like literally working with you, it just felt like fun. It was like hanging out. We covered so many different topics. We like, I didn't really meet the people you did. I just kind of sat here and watched in the background. But it's true. It's like to see you form these connections, to see how many people left here saying, you made me feel so comfortable. This is like the best podcast that I've ever like been a guest on. You're so charismatic. Like those people didn't have to say that. They literally could have just been like, thanks and left and nothing else. But no, everyone's like, yeah, let's do this. Like you've made true friendships through this. I feel like you've truly grown as a person from the year that I've met you. And it's been I've had a lot of years before this. And this was like, I finally felt like I got back to where I was supposed to be because of the show. So like, I'm very sad that we're not going to have this time together. And so I will become your third not professional mental health person, but like we will still have to book in time every week to discuss just our crazy selves and lives and
Thank you, Jamie. Thank you for taking over there while I got myself together too.
No,
that meant a lot.
No, you're great. That's what I'm here for. I'm here to swoop on in.
But yes, to finish the sentence that I couldn't finish while I was crying, thank you to everyone that has listened and sent me a message about how much they like the show or how it's helped them, helped you. It really does mean the world, and it makes me very happy to see that. And it, it makes my day every time I see a message like that. So you've done as much for me as I have done for any of you just by watching and supporting and listening. So thank you a lot. I am not going to cry again. Now that I've gotten the sappy part out of the way, let's get to the funny. Jamie wrote down normally we have guests or I do an episode by myself and Jamie will write down facts or talking points or things. Jamie just listed like all of the unhinged things that I've said.
Because it's fun.
Literally just bullet points.
Well, the thing that I thought that I really liked about this show as well is that from the get-go, you were like, I don't want to say the same exact intro every time. And I love that because it's like, it's pretty much the same, except you change that one line.
Yeah.
And so every day I'm like, I wonder what he's going to say today.
Yeah. Well, shockingly, I don't remember anything. I have a terrible memory, and so every week I would come in and I just kind of like think of something and be like, "Well, I hope I haven't said this before." And shockingly, through every single episode, I never repeated anything. I would hit like a similar one. I think I talked about Diet Coke a couple times. Shockingly, talked about He-Man a couple times. Um, but I did it. I came up with how many episodes have we done? 43?
Mm-hmm.
43 different individual things, most of them lies. Yeah, I hate to break it to you, everyone. I hate to break it to you. I am not a 2-time Oscar-winning director. That was made up. I know that's shocking. I know, because I have the chops for it, right? You look at me and you see that's a guy that can direct the hell out of a movie, but I haven't. I've never produced a movie. I've never directed a movie. I've watched a couple that are pretty good that I like, and I look at a movie and I think I could do that.
Everyone's mouth listening is agape right now that was a lie.
Oh?
It was funny because after that, when you were like, "Don't fact check me," hopefully no one did.
Yeah.
But you just fact checked yourself.
Yeah, well, I figured I needed to come clean, right? This is the last episode. What else have I lied about?
Are you truly the holder of a personal record of a 6'8" high jump?
Yeah, that was real. I did high
cool.
jump in high school. I'm an athlete. I'm an athlete. Why was that the one? Jamie read the first athletic one, and she's like, "Was that real?"
Well, because
Hater.
I'm trying to see, like...
Oh, this one's a lie. Mortal enemy of Shane Robert Top. Shane and I hate to break it to everyone, we're actually friends.
Yeah.
Behind the scenes, Shane and I, we're buddies. We talk. We text.
Yeah.
We go out for shabu shabu occasionally. So I'm sorry, everyone. I was the captain of my high school basketball team. Achiever of 1,913 total level on old school RuneScape. That's gone up.
Ooh.
So that's like technically a lie now. I'm like 1980 now. I'm almost 2K total level.
Oh, damn. That's gone up.
Well, it's gone up, and also for context, because I know that you have no idea what that means.
No.
It's the combined sum of all of your skills, the levels of your skills. The max total level in the game is 2,277. And I'm like 1980. So
Wow.
I'm less than 200 away from having max stats.
That's really cool.
Yeah, no, you don't think it is. You hate RuneScape.
I don't hate RuneScape. I was told not to let you talk about it every episode.
Which I still think is a terrible note.
Terrible note. In fact, the actual RuneScape counter episode was...
Look.
The RuneScape counter episode wasn't even the episode where you had Rargan Link on. It was the episode before that, I think.
Can I tell you a funny story?
Sigils.
Yeah. Well, can I tell you a funny story?
Yeah.
Because Andrew, Sigils, still gives me crap for talking about RuneScape. I'm very close with Andrew now. We're buddies. So I was at DreamHack in Atlanta a few weekends ago. Back in, what month is it? It was like
November?
It was like early November.
Yeah.
And I was in Atlanta for DreamHack, and I was there with Andrew, and then he's on a group called The Regulars, which is like he makes content with them, and the other two members are Austin, aka Biffle on YouTube. Austin I'm also very close with. And then their third member, Nico. It was the first time I'd met Nico, but Nico's a really cool guy. And then Andrew and Nico's manager was there too. So I was hanging out with the four of them. And I gotta say, the amount of times that I brought up RuneScape, and it was like unintentionally, I wasn't doing it as a joke, but the amount of like times where we're just having a normal conversation and I just had a RuneScape anecdote like queued up to be like, oh, this is how that relates to RuneScape. I was like actually shocked myself. Like there was literally a point in time where I was like, I actually do talk about RuneScape that much. Like it's a problem. I am recognizing the first step to getting better is recognizing that you have a problem. And I have a problem with talking about RuneScape too much. I know it took us 43 episodes to get here and this is the last one, but I recognize now that I was in the wrong. So I'm sorry.
Oh my goodness. We never thought we'd hear the day. I'm going to put some kind of
just like
sound.
Confetti. Just
yeah. Which one? Do you remember your wide boy sweater? Certified wide boy. You were like super wide one day.
Yeah, I don't remember what sweater I was wearing.
It was like a
It was
tan and it had a big black word on it.
Dort College.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dort College. That definitely is still my widest sweater. This is a normal, like, sweater
Yeah.
size. The other one was, like, out to here. That's a wide sweater, but I still like that sweater. I am a certified freak 7 days a week. That is true. I don't know. Winner of the Diligence Award at my kindergarten graduation. I don't know. That could be true. It also could be false. I don't remember. I definitely made it up, but there's a chance that it's true.
Why were you on the run from Jersey Mike's on Hollywood Way?
Currently on the run from the Jersey Mike's on Hollywood Way. No, that was a lie. I do order sandwiches from them occasionally, but I don't think I've ever done anything that they've chased me for, that they've hunted me for.
Would have been cool.
Yeah, that one would have been cool. Saver of horses, rider of cowboys. I've never ridden a cowboy. I'm sorry. But I've also ridden a horse only like once, so technically I am a saver of horses. Don't ride cowboys, though. Sorry, everyone. Holder in of way too much pee-pee. That is so true.
You do that a lot. I'm always like, go to the bathroom. You're like, no, I sat down already.
Yeah, well, once I sit in the chair, then I gotta go. I gotta go, like, do the show, not go pee. I did dodge jury duty. I dodged jury duty twice.
Oh, it happened again?
It happened again. Yeah. It happened a while ago. They haven't reached back out to me, but I also am not in prison yet, so I guess it's okay.
Yeah.
Because after I dodged jury duty once because I had the COVID vaccine and, like, had symptoms of COVID, so I couldn't go in. Then I got it again when we were supposed to go to Mythicon.
Oh.
So I was like, well, I can't do it. But I didn't call because the last time I called, I was just on the phone with robots for 3 hours. So I was like, well, I'm not calling again. I'm just not going to show. Haven't received anything from them yet. So there's either a warrant out for my arrest or they said, not worth it. We don't need him. Or they listened to the show and realized I'm an idiot.
Also, in that episode, we talked about how, like, we also don't listen to car warranty things.
Yeah.
And you're like, no one's going to come after me for that. And then someone left a comment on that video being like, actually, sometimes, depending on the warranty, it is illegal to ignore those.
Oh, wait, do you mean the recall thing?
Yeah.
The recall? Yeah, no, still haven't figured that out. That's something that I really need to do, though. Like,
yeah, because it might be, like, bad for your life.
Oh, no, yeah, no, I read the thing. On the paper, it said there's possibly a defect in your airbag that could cause it to activate randomly and send shrapnel into your body at, like, 250 miles per hour.
Oh, that's bad.
Like, I should get it fixed.
But how long have you had your car for? They just realized that now?
I don't know. Like, it's a 2015.
Yeah, they're just figuring it out in 2022 that it could kill you.
It probably happened to, like, one person, you know?
Oh, so they have to check on everyone.
So they have to check everyone's because they're like, well, we can't have multiple people dying from shrapnel blown out of the airbag. Anyway, it hasn't happened yet, but there are occasionally times when I'll be driving on LA freeways and I'll hit a particular bump where I'm like, this could be the end of me. This could be it. Staunch supporter, celebrator of Arbor Day. I've never celebrated Arbor Day. I'm sorry. I, like, recognize Arbor Day, you know? Like, I understand that it is Arbor Day, and I will, like, you know, have a moment of silence for all the fallen trees. Because I think that's what you do on Arbor Day. But I've never, like, thrown a party or anything, so.
Is that what you do on Arbor Day? What is like an Arbor Day celebration? Have you ever been to
Don't ask me.
Have you ever been to an arboretum?
Is that like where they have the tree? I think so. I think I have been to
Yeah,
one.
it's like a place where
There's one
trees...
in Santa Anita, I think. Because I go to the Santa Anita Mall occasionally.
I thought you were going to say racetrack.
And the racetrack. I've been to both. They're right next to each other. And I think I drive. There's an arboretum is that how you say it?
I believe so.
Oh, well, there's like an arboretum like that's across the street from the Santa Anita Mall. So I haven't been to that one, but I think I went to one in Boise. Or maybe it was a botanical garden. I don't know.
I do like a GeoGuessr extraordinaire. That one's true.
It is true. I'm goated. I'm quirked up white boy, goated with the sauce, busting it down, swagged out,
so those
sexual style. Sorry, what?
those were all like that was a bunch of your like opening lines. And then I was going through I didn't realize how much I forgot about all these opening talks that you've had.
Yeah.
Uh the first ever RuneScape mention was on the 5th episode,
Which was with who?
which was with oh crap, hold on. I have it right here. I should have had this queued up, but I'm terrible.
No, you're not. Stop it.
With Lorray.
With Lorray
The
in like the intro.
The intro was the first time because you were talking about how you got into grime.
Yeah, Solo Mission.
Yeah.
Shout out Solo Mission. Still love that guy. Can I shout out all my favorite RuneScape YouTubers? No. Oh, I got another. No, I can't. I have a problem. I'm cutting it off. I was about to go into another anecdote about the game that shall not be named.
There was a lot of like really good, like the very first opening talk was the most rambly, but it was really funny because we were talking about how you found out that raccoons can fit into very small spaces.
Yeah, I saw like a video on Twitter of some raccoon like sliding under a door.
And you devolved from that into other critters, getting into red pandas a little bit, and then about how you had so many stuffed animals because you used to like go to the arcade and get win a bunch from the claw machines. It really went there. It was
Well, the funny thing about that is, let me pull back the curtain a little bit for all the listeners. Basically, we had this idea as a bit that like when we start the show, I'll do the intro and then I'll like, ramble on for a few minutes about something completely unrelated because I'm like, Trevor talks too much. That's the name of the show. So I was going to talk too much at the beginning. So the first one I like planned out in my head. I was like, oh, like I got to have some random rambly story. And then after one episode, I was like, I just talk about whatever. And I didn't think about it. Like literally after the first episode, I stopped preparing.
Yeah.
Because I was like, I'll just figure it out. I got too much other stuff going on. I got food to cook. I got episodes to shoot. I was like, I don't need to prepare. So that first one, I like thought through like what I was going to start with and then the natural progression of the story. And then every single one since then has been made up 5 seconds before I start talking. So, well, not made up. Like I thought about what I was going to say. And then from there, it was just all ad lib. So
I liked that though. I think it was like nice because then it was like I never knew what to expect either. Just kind of rolling with the punches. I totally forgot that at one point we were trying to figure out what fans of the show should be called. And your first thought was Swag Squad.
Swag Squad.
And then you were like, say that 5 times fast.
Swag Squad, swag squad, swag squad. Swag Squad, swag squad. That's hard.
Exactly. I was like, I couldn't even say it once. Swag Squad.
Swag Squad, swag squad.
It's so difficult.
That's a good tongue twister. I can't believe I came up with one.
And we never called them.
No. We don't need a name for them because they're just my friends.
My friends.
They're just my friends.
Yes.
There's some good ones on here. Why did I talk about the movie Buddy Games?
I don't remember why you talked about it, but
because Josh Duhamel is hot.
I think that was why. You're like, because he was in something else.
No, you want to know what it was? The whole reason that I watched that movie is because I really love James Roday Rodriguez, who stars in the show Psych, that I really like.
Yes, that is why. Yes.
And then I was like, I looked up his IMDb because I was like, I've seen Psych like 6 times, and then he's just in this movie with Josh Duhamel and like, I think Zach Braff maybe.
No.
What's the other one that looks like Zach Braff? Dax Shepard.
Yes.
Dax Shepard.
I think.
They like are very similar. I think.
I just remember that I had never seen the movie, and then I watched the movie like a week later.
Yeah,
and
it wasn't Zach Braff, but yeah, you watched the movie a week later.
And I remember like watching it, and I was like, oh wow, like it's actually terrible.
It's so bad. It's a terrible movie.
Because, like, there's some movies that you're like, oh, yeah, like, this isn't a good movie, but I love it. But this is a movie where, like, this is a terrible movie, and I never want to watch it again.
No, yeah, never gonna watch it again ever. Never in my life. No.
Painful.
Very painful. Like hard to get through. Where like one of those movies where you're like, God, can we get to the end? I got other things to do. What's
I also, which one?
Popeye's Resentment?
Yeah, that one was big.
That one was big.
Because that's like kind of, that's like really, that's disappointing.
It was the first ever time that I'd been disappointed by a Popeyes that wasn't an airport Popeyes, because airport Popeyes is always like a little bit worse.
Yeah.
But, and all airport food, like restaurants are always just a little bit worse. So I give them a pass because that's just airport food. But yeah, first ever negative experience I've had with the Popeyes. So that was a pinnacle moment in my life, you know?
The funniest thing to me, so you tell this story on one of the shows about your dad and how he missed his chance to meet the Queen of England.
Yeah.
And 2 days after that episode comes out, she died.
Yeah.
And we were talking about on the show about how, like, she's never going to die and that we should, like, oh, what if we try to ask her to be a guest on the show? Obviously, we were joking. But the fact that she actually died 2 days later.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, do I have to cut that out of the video version? Is that bad?
No, you just got to put in like a 1 minute like moment of like trumpets and praise and like very excited music, because the joke is that the Queen wasn't like a good person. Sorry everyone.
She wasn't, but I just thought that was like the timing.
Yeah, the gift of prophecy is what I have, is what it's called. Josh did that recently on he did it like a little while back on an episode of Mythical Kitchen. We had shot an episode of Mythical Kitchen and he made a joke about Mauna Loa erupting. And then like 2 days after the episode aired, or no, like 2 days before the episode aired, Mauna Loa actually erupted.
Oh my God.
And so we'd obviously shot it in advance, you
Yeah.
know, a little while back. And so he just has the gift of prophecy, which is really funny. And I was like, there's a meme about that where it's like, there's this like group of girls and they're like standing, it's like a stock image photo and they're like standing on some grass. And then there's this one girl and she's got like a dodgeball cocked back to throw at them.
Yeah.
And then the words on the group of girls is like somebody on the internet trying to be funny. And then the girl holding the dodgeball is Apollo. And then the dodgeball is the gift of prophecy.
That is actually hilarious.
It happens way too often. But I guess if you make enough jokes about something, eventually you got to be right about it.
Yeah, eventually. I still haven't seen John Wick.
I was just reading that one. Yeah, you're the worst.
I know. I need to watch it too because my sister-in-law is planning a John Wick themed party for my brother.
Or would that seems like a weird party theme.
Well, everyone has to dress up like John Wick characters.
They all just John Wick characters. They all just wear like suits.
I know. Everyone's gonna be in a duster.
Is everybody gonna like shoot each other or like have knife fights?
It's gonna be like the Spider-Man meme, but it's gonna be John Wick.
Whose party is this?
My brother's.
Yeah, it's a pretty terrible party theme.
I didn't come up with
Sorry.
it. My sister-in-law did, so.
Well, I mean, if you really like John Wick, then I guess that's cool. But that's just like a black tie event. John Wick just dresses
I've never
nice.
seen it, so I wouldn't know.
Oh my goodness!
I gotta watch it beforehand.
I love how poorly you spelled some of these things. Like, how do you spell C-bat? You spelled C-bat like
I had no
S-E-A, like the C, and then bat like the animal, C-bat.
Is it C-bat?
It's just the letter C and then B-A-T. It's just C-bat.
Well, I didn't research the things. I just wrote them as I heard them.
Yeah, super hot fire. You spelled super in super hot fire, right? You don't know how to spell baubles, which is interesting to me.
I just assumed it was like bobbing.
You don't read enough fantasy novels. You don't read. You've obviously never read enough fantasy novels where the titular character goes into a shop and he browses the trinkets and baubles.
No. And I actually am sad about this because I used to be very I'm so good at vocabulary and spelling, and then I gave up at some point.
I was a spelling kid. We used to. I was unironically known for my spelling ability in elementary school, which is shocking because I know I seem very dumb. Um, I was known like we would have spelling tests, but we'd have the pre-quiz kind of like we'd have a quiz that was like here's all the spelling words, and then we'd turn in like the pre-quiz, like the practice quiz,
Yeah.
I believe is what it would be called. And every single time I would get every word right. And then the kids that got every single word right would get the harder version of the quiz when the quiz came around. They'd get like an upgraded version. And I got all of those right all the time too. And people are like, wow, Trevor is good at spelling.
He's a speller.
I know.
Who put a spell on him?
I know.
Thank God the show's ending. I gotta go.
What?
I made a bad joke, and that was me saying I needed to get out.
Oh, I was busy basking in my glory, so I kind of stopped listening
That's
for a second.
Totally fine. I would like to play Dungeons and Dragons at one point.
No, you don't.
I gotta meet Surreal Neil Diamond.
Do
the
you want to
bard.
be a loser? Surreal Neil Diamond. I hate to pull the curtain back even more. It's just me.
What?
It's just me. That character, that's the easiest part about it, is that all I have to do is be me. And I'm sexy, and I'm good with a sword,
Really good at describing yourself.
charismatic. I got insane luck. I got so many wenches.
Just drowning in wenches.
Drowning in wenches and mead. Yeah. No, it is just basically it's just me. Imagine me, but I'm like pretending to be a bard. It's pretty easy to pretend that. What else?
You also you never I'm glad you didn't stick to this, but you at one point were like, I'm gonna just start randomly playing balloons during guest interviews. Because you like addicting games. Are you not? No, don't do it now. I hear the balloon sound come through these headphones. I'm really glad it's a slow website. I hope it doesn't actually come.
I have to download it on Steam.
Ha! Don't do it. That takes so much time.
The hell?
They took it off addicting games?
I don't believe that addicting it. Well, actually, I don't know when this timeline would have been, but there's no longer there. You can't play Flash games in your browser anymore. They disabled that. The Flash,
What?
Yeah, Flash games no longer exist.
That's terrible.
No, that was funny. I've done a lot of pretty unhinged things. I do have RuneLite on this computer, which is a client that I play RuneScape on. I could play RuneScape right now.
No.
It's funny. This is actually a really funny story. So I installed RuneLite on this. It's like I don't have any games. This is my work computer, so I don't have games. I have Discord because we have the Mythical Society Discord, so I'll go on there sometimes. But I take this laptop home with me. And I take it to like work from home or do stuff. I like to have it on me because it has like all my work documents, and not all my work documents are on my home computer. So I'll take it home with me. And then there have been a couple times when I've like gone home to Idaho and I've worked from Idaho, and like had to be in some like meetings or whatever. But I was like, oh, I want to have RuneScape on this because I'm traveling and I don't have my computer with me. So I installed RuneLite, and I never use it. Like I rarely ever I don't like playing because it's just a trackpad. But I think I just like installed it once and it's still on here. Tim, our IT guy, messages me because he's like, hey, our like outsource IT group mentioned something to me about somebody's computer having RuneScape on it, and they were wondering if they should block it on the server. Or like block it on the computer. And I was like, Tim,
my God.
I was like, Tim, I'm sorry. I'm the culprit. I was like, they can block it if they want. He was like, yeah, they were just going through some stuff because like Smosh had downloaded like a bunch of games on some of their PCs to play. And so they were getting all these notifications about because there's like time. I'm sure there's things that are like blocked on work computers or whatever. And so he was like, "It's okay. I'll like tell them to keep it enabled." I was like, "Tim, I swear I don't like play RuneScape at work." I was like, "I promise you, I only have done that because I've just like used my computer at home before and I installed
Tim doesn't
RuneNet on it."
care.
I know Tim doesn't care, but I was like, what if like Stevie or Gabriel got an email about that, like somebody has RuneScape installed on their computer and then they bring me into their office to talk about it.
Well, because the funniest thing is, out of all of the employees that work here, like, you're the only, like, they're obviously the one. So it's like, it wouldn't even be a question. Like, we need to narrow it down. Like, no,
Yeah.
it's Trevor.
Yeah, I hate that I'm the RuneScape guy at the company. But I also love it. you
Yeah,
know?
I was gonna say, you don't hate it. You love it. But yeah, lots of good opening talks, I think.
Yeah,
I
think so
liked him.
too.
Also, the icing thing, which happened recently, someone that works here saw that clip and was like, just you wait. They're gonna ice me. So now I'm like,
Ice you?
Yeah, now I'm paranoid.
Who threatened to ice you?
Amy.
It's totally an Amy thing to do.
I know. I love Amy though.
I got some old segments. These are fun. Some that we haven't done in a while.
Yeah, some were one-offs, but
Do y'all remember whoever smelt it? That is funny that we were so committed to that idea that we would send it out to potential guests to be like, "Hey,
yeah,
make sure you have a story about an embarrassing time that you ripped."
like, because when we were trying to come up with segments for the show, we're like, let's do something let's do something weird,
Yeah.
something that they won't be asked on like any other podcast, and that just seems funny. And we were like, all gung ho about this idea.
Yeah.
And I will say that some people really delivered on their stories. You know, Brittany Broski, very first episode, came through with 3 stories, and all 3 were solid. And I think Alex Warren had a good one.
Yeah.
He like fell out of his chair.
I forgot that I talked to these people. Not actually, but it's just funny to think back to like that early in the show, back when we were doing this segment.
Even Emma Norton, the dancer.
Yeah.
Or the makeup person, but she was in a dance class that like where she let one rip.
Yeah.
And then it got to a point where I feel like, well, one, like no one ever, like none of the like listeners ever commented on, which I think is kind of weird because it's like, wouldn't that be something you comment on?
I also think we had so many people respond like to like people that we were bringing on as guests when we would say, "Hey, do you have a story where you farted embarrassingly?" And then we had so many people respond and be like, "I don't think I really have a story about that or can think of anything." I feel like that happens so many times. We're like, maybe we stop asking people.
Yeah, I mean, and then because also a lot of people started asking you back. And
I ran out of stories.
Yeah, you're like, I've only done that so many times.
Yeah, I only have so many fart stories.
Oh, and then I think it was Myth where it wasn't a fart. But
he pissed on the train.
Yeah, just in front of everyone.
Yeah. Myth is funny.
That was great.
Myth is funny. I think I might be hanging out with Myth this weekend.
Nice. Yeah. See? Friendship. So yeah, eventually we abolished that one.
What's in my pocket was okay.
That was my favorite.
But
I loved it.
If we had, like, it was good. It was a great idea. I just wish we had a better budget. Because if we could get some, like, cooler things, I think it would have been knockout.
Yeah, this was, to be clear, what's in my pocket consisted of things where me and Trevor would look around our rooms.
Yeah.
And be like, what could we give away that is kind of funny and weird, like random?
Yeah, and random.
You know, I thought the toilet light was a good one. I wonder if Fleury uses it.
He seemed excited about it. I got to the point where I was like, I don't want to give these things away. They're cool. They're mine. I gave away my freaking Kylo Ren Lego minifigure to Morgan.
You did.
And if they weren't the sweetest person of all time, I would be upset about it. But Morgan is just the kindest. Sweetest
they were
person.
really excited about it too. They were like, really? And because they guessed it.
Yeah.
Actually. I don't know if they guessed Kylo Ren right away, but
yeah. But I was like, look, that's for you. I can part with it. And, you know, it's nice that Kylo went to a good home where he'll be, you know, loved and cared for.
You didn't even like actually give away. I gave you a golf ball once, and you told me, you're like, this is a good golf ball. I'm keeping this one.
I did do that. I said, frick this segment. I'm keeping it.
And then you
It
dropped
was a
it.
Pro V1.
And you dropped it during the episode.
That's right. I had it just like in my crotch, in between my legs, and then I like shifted and it fell out. And I was like, that's not what was in my golf
pocket.
ball that I was keeping in my grundle.
I'm pretty sure it was JHB team.
Yeah. Oh, James. I might be hanging out with James this weekend too.
Oh, look.
I know.
Fun
you'd
stuff.
think I'd have run out of time.
Yeah, GeoGuessr was played a couple times.
My favorite. It was like unfortunate because sadly GeoGuessr is a paid subscription game. So you can only play for a certain amount of minutes, and you also don't get like all the cool expansions if you don't pay for it. And so we only could do like some of the more basic ones. But GeoGuessr is a lot of fun.
Yeah, I'm also admittedly a bad driver, like for other people. Like when people are
driving the camera around.
I'm sorry, I'm just bad at it, and it's not just GeoGuessr. It's like other things when people are like, "Oh, it's right there," and I'm like, "Where?" Like I'm blind. All of a sudden, I become blind. I can't see anything, and everyone's like, "It's literally right there." I think Keith thought I was an idiot.
Yeah, Keith thought I was an idiot too. Though. Love Keith.
Man, Broth Brothers should be a thing,
Broth Brothers.
Yeah, and then one of my favorite like one-off segments for like was the one you did with Josh. Do you know your bro?
That was so much fun.
I liked that one a lot.
That was so much fun. I loved that. That was really funny too.
Okay.
What would be the name of Josh's deathcore band?
Ooh.
I went with God's severed big toe.
That's good. That's a good one, though. I like that. I went with Thrash Raccoon.
Oh, Thrash
We are
Raccoon.
Thrash Raccoon, and we're here to melt your face off.
We had some good answers. Sorry, I'm bringing up my booch. I'm thirsty for my booch. I'm gonna cover up the label though. No free.
I've never heard someone call it booch before. Rhymes with gooch.
I love booch. Rhymes with cooch.
But yeah, that one was fun, especially because the answers, because the answers could have been anything for some of them, and would have been really hard to match up.
Yeah, no, but I feel like we were both like always in kind of the same ballpark, which was
exactly
fun.
Yeah. That was always great.
Yeah,
I think that we only did like 2. Trevor tries to clarify. That one just didn't hit.
Yeah,
It was just. We're like, why are we harping on this young thing still?
Yeah, I was like, look, there was one. Did I ever explain Riz?
Yes, because that's the one that I wanted to know, because I had no idea what that meant.
Yeah, because I was talking about my Riz, and Jamie's like, what the heck is Riz? And I was like, well, that means you probably have L Riz.
Okay.
I got W Riz. Riz got big. Riz is still big. I was like on the cutting edge of Riz. I was it's very popular now. Riz is like a big meme now. And it's like actually used really commonly. I was definitely one of the trailblazers for Riz.
I would say so.
Look.
Okay. So one of the ones that you did explain to Jenna, because Jenna came in and asked, was about the like sheesh, like in the arm thing. And I was watching this show, Abbott Elementary. And
great show.
Yeah. And this new character is on the new season. And she said, me and my boyfriend were cracking up because she's like, old enough to know better, but young enough to sheesh.
No.
And it was like, her delivery was obviously amazing. And mine was terrible. However, hilarious nonetheless.
That's good. I mean, sheesh is a classic. That's a classic. I got over it, I think, from all the freaking Valorant, like, 16-year-olds that were doing it. But that's neither here nor there. I mean, it's been fun.
It's been a great show, and
It's been
a lot of
fun.
great guests.
A lot of great guests.
I
met
think.
some really cool people. Minx is amazing. Morgan drinks coffee. We've already talked about. I feel like we've already talked about all these people, but I'm gonna go down their names because these are just some of my favorite guests. Brittany Broski was awesome. Sigils, Andrew. See if these nuts fit.
That was so good.
He's still scarred from that. He
He
talks
should
about
be.
it every time I hang out with him.
He should be.
He says he's still scarred by Sea of Thieves nuts fit in your
And
mouth.
I read his book. I liked his book.
His book is really good. Check it
Yeah.
out. Soul Fraud.
Mm-hmm.
Great. He's a #1 bestseller now.
Yeah.
He's a number one because when he came on, it hadn't released yet, but he is a number one bestseller. Great novel. Great novel. Keith from the Try Guys, that was fun. Keith is just loud and exciting, and it's always fun to be in a room with him.
Yeah.
He's a funny guy.
Great. And I think that Will It Laminate should be a thing. Like,
Yeah.
we should definitely try to laminate a quesadilla and see if it cooks the cheese.
It's a good idea. Rhett and Link. I know you don't listen to the show, but will it laminate? I could just knock on their door. Also, like, they approve the episode ideas. We have like a whole team of writers. We have like executive producers and people. And I'm going to knock on Rhett and Link's door and be like, gentlemen, will it laminate?
Boom.
Shane and Courtney, that episode was so much fun.
The live
in-
episode.
Live at Mythicon. If you haven't seen that one, highly recommend it.
So good.
Shane and Courtney, two of my favorite people on the planet. I love them so much. And that was a really, really fun episode. And I'm glad that they got to be there for the live episode because that was just a great time.
Yeah. Great energy in the crowd for that episode.
People showed up.
Full house.
Yeah, full house, full tent. Even.
Full tent. And then one of my favorite things that me and you have ever created was the documentary.
I got so many people, like Spencer from Smosh said this is like one of the funniest things that Mythical has ever produced. And I was like, dude, it was like just me and Jamie. And it was like such a throwaway idea.
Literally.
I was literally in a meeting. I was like, what if we made like a dumb documentary style, like 3-minute video, like basically hailing me as the funniest and coolest person of all time and just dumping all over Shane. And then I wrote a script for it and we did it and Jamie edited it and it was amazing.
It took me like so long because I was like, we're gonna do this. We're gonna go full throttle with it.
Yeah.
And I was like, it took me a day to edit 2 minutes and 15 seconds.
Yeah. Hey, it was worth it. The Merrill twins were amazing. They were really fun. I did a video with them recently over on their channel, actually. I did a little cookie bake-off, and I throttled them.
Yeah, it was good.
I just crushed them into the ground.
I mean,
I was much nicer than that, though. It was fun. I just baked cookies with them. It was
yeah.
really fun.
Best cookie I've ever had. Like, literally best chocolate chip cookie I've ever had.
Got the tattoo. Sheesh.
And they let me judge it.
Yeah.
And her family's so nice. Like, her
Their family is
parents.
so sweet. Paul, legend. Legend that guy is.
I don't know. I think it's Paul Rudd. I'm sorry. This is why the show's ending.
Jamie, if you just made like 5 less bad jokes and I'd made 6,000 less bad jokes, we'd still be going. And then the classics, Rarg and Link. They were great. Love those guys. I was pretty good friends with them before they came on, but what a treat. And that was one that I like kind of begged and pleaded for because they're not like big on YouTube at all. Not to like throw shade at you guys. You guys make great content. Love them. But they're not like huge. And all the people that we'd had on before had like pretty like significant followings. And I was like, I just kept asking Jamie. I was like, these are like 2 of my favorite people on the planet. Like, they're like so funny and I want to do an episode with them so bad. And then Jamie finally caved and it was great.
I loved that episode. And
yeah.
I actually like, because, there's a whole process for posts. Like, someone else has to listen to it to make sure there's
Yeah.
no errors and things like that. And everyone that listened was like, oh, like, this is such a fun episode. I was like, it was super fun because you're just
Yeah.
like roasting them the whole time.
Yeah, we're just broing out. Just guys being dudes.
And can I just give a shout out to them because their camera and mic quality was so great for remote.
They're streamers.
I know.
and YouTubers.
I know that.
Jamie,
I know that.
Jamie.
We had someone on the show who didn't even have freaking Wi-Fi.
on a hot spot.
He was on a hotspot. I was like, oh man, my blood was boiling.
That was funny. Also, Josh and Nicole, both amazing.
Of course.
They were so much fun to have on.
I did like the segment with Nicole as well.
Yeah.
Screw coitus, marry, kill, and also giving advice to people
Yeah.
for dating and food.
Nicole's got great advice. I'll say that right now. I'm trying to think of like other. I know you wrote a bunch down, but I'm trying to think of. Was there anyone else that I was like particularly?
Joel Stein.
That was an interesting one. That one had me on my toes because that was tough. It was hard to keep up with him.
Because he
He was ripping.
I was like, man, Joel talks too much.
Yeah, Joel talks too much. He's got like lots of years of experience in writing, and it showed. Yeah, I don't know. Every episode had the things that made it fun, had the things that, made me laugh. There's good in all of it. The solo episodes I think were fun. I enjoyed doing them. Yeah. Also, we had Damien on recently, which was very fun. He's a good
great.
dude. Love Damien. But
Great energy.
Is that it?
I think we kind of went through
Is that it?
the show. There was, also, at random time that there was just this loud cricket.
Yeah. That was like a sign from God telling me to shut up. That was like the cricket was just like chirping every time I made a joke. It was just like, oh, it was like stuck in the wall over there.
We were trying to find it for
Yeah,
so long.
I kept kicking the wall because like I found that like if you don't know where a cricket is and it's stuck in something, if you just kick near it, it'll stop for a little bit. So I just kept getting up and walking over and kicking that wall
Yeah.
to get it to stop. Everyone, before I do my final outro, I have a very ironic plug to do here. We're Still Good is a game that we made, and it feels like it applies to me right now because I'm still good. We're still good. Me and Jamie, we're still good.
Yeah.
No, it's a game we created with our friends over at Spin Master. It's a fun party card game that just laughs in the face of disaster. I wouldn't call this a disaster. It's a normal thing that's happening. And while it is sad, I don't know that I'd be so dramatic as to call it a disaster. But yeah, you just kind of fill in the blank with words to make a silly situation, and then you try and put a positive spin on that situation. And it is available on mythical.com as well as amazon.com. So go check it out. We're Still Good. And thank you for listening to Trevor Talks Too Much for the last year. Yeah, I don't know how many episodes you've listened to. I don't know how long you listened to them for, but if you've ever clicked into this show and listened at all, thank you from the bottom of my heart. It really does mean the world, and this has been such a fun experience that I'm very grateful that I got to do, and I'm very thankful, and I'm very grateful for Jamie. Thank you for all that you've done over the year, not just in producing and editing, but also just in being a really amazing friend to me. I'm very appreciative of you, and I'm excited that you're still going to be around, and I'll still get to bug you and come and neg you all the time. So,
Oh, no, I would not have been wanted to be introduced to the Mythical team in any other way. It's going to be quite an adjustment. Obviously, I'm glad I'm still here, of course I am, but it's like, like I said, highlight of coming to the office was doing these recordings, and, I feel like you're like one of my closest work friends here for sure, and I don't think I could have told anybody else a lot of the things I have shared with you offline, so thank you for... Also, I love that I know I talk too much, and there have been times when you're like, Jamie, please stop. I'm going to leave the room. So thank you for indulging me on that.
of course. Obviously, I'm still going to be around. I'm going to be over on Mythical Kitchen. We've actually, in the new year, I actually don't know if I'm supposed to say this, so I'm not going to say that, but we got some fun stuff planned for next year. So you can see me over there pretty often. I'll be around on GMM doing some silly, goofy little characters probably. I'll be cooking food. I'll be here. I'll be tweeting nonsense. I'll be posting Instagram stories with songs that I like maybe. So who knows? Follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Trevor Everett. One last plug for me. And yeah, thank you. Seriously. I know I've said it a million times, but thank you. And yeah, I guess I won't see you all next time. So I'll see you soon though, and something else I'm sure. But for now, that is the final chapter of Trevor Talks Too Much. So thank you and goodbye.